Joining us now is Florida Congressman Michael Waltz, a Trump campaign surrogate. And I like how they send the Floridians to Iowa so you can campaign.
We're not in Florida anymore.
You are not in
Fortunately,
Florida.
I have been through the Army's Arctic warfare training.
Yeah,
so
I'm not worried about you. You're the tough
pulling
one.
out some of those skills.
The Wall Street Journal headline that caught our attention is Trump's hold on rural America is key to his resilience. This is true. And when you look at the maps that Bill puts up on the billboard and you see those large swaths of red, that many of those counties are rural. What do you think is the appeal of Trump for those voters?
Well, I think particularly here, farmers love President Trump. He took care of them under his administration. He entered into trade deals that ultimately benefited those farmers. And when we started putting tariffs in place in order to give him more negotiating power, he sent them directly to the farmers. But I think more broadly, Dana, those running against President Trump are testing a premise that you can get all the policies that he brought in place without the man, without the leader. And I've told group after group, that's kind of like saying you get SpaceX without Elon, or you get Apple without Steve Jobs. You don't get the America First policies that everyone loved and everybody wants to get back to without the leader of the movement. And so I think you're going to see an overwhelming victory tonight.
So he has a track record because he's a former president, right? But Governor DeSantis has a track record too, and he's the governor of your home state. Why not support him?
Well, because I think he's been a great governor, Governor DeSantis. But we need to get back to someone who can hit the ground running as President Trump did. And that's everything from the Abraham Accords to the border, to the economy, to record low on unemployment across every demographic, to veterans reform, to justice reform. I mean, the list is phenomenal despite everything thrown at him. So look, I was just talking to my driver on the way this morning after a very delayed flight, and he was lamenting that everybody else, why didn't they wait? And why didn't they wait until 2028? We have a great Republican bench, but this is President Trump's time. He's going to hit the ground running, and I think we're going to see a great win.
One of the things in Iowa is the key to winning is a strategy and a ground game. And Ron DeSantis has worked with the consultants who got Ted Cruz over the finish line in 2016. Listen to Jimmy Senners. This is call for number 2. He says to the Des Moines Register, if that gets up to 30 plus, he's going to have a great night. He's talking about evangelical voters. He's going to get second place. Evangelical voters, I think that definition has changed a little bit over time, but they are an important block here. And you think about the successes of the Trump administration, if you're a conservative, and you're thinking, okay, so he made all of these happen. The governor's then implementing those. Governor DeSantis is one of those. Is there concern in the Trump team that his lead is so commanding that people will think they don't need to turn out tonight because he's already going to win?
Well, I can tell you for certain. I was just texting with one of them. They're not taking anything for granted. I mean, they understand what the polls say. They've seen the wonderful turnout at all of his rallies and all of the events over the last few weeks. And he has put a lot of time into Iowa in addition to everywhere else, as opposed to Governor DeSantis that's put everything into this state. I think you're going to see a fantastic night. I really do.
Coming up next hour, we got some new numbers on Joe Biden, and they're not great. They might be the lowest point yet for some of the polling that we're seeing here. And I just, if your forecast is right and you're backing the right horse in all this, how do you see these two men go at it again for a second time?
Well, I think one of the things that we want to see sooner than later is to shift to Biden and to truly begin laying out that contrast. Let's get through this primary process, but I think you're going to see a consolidation pretty quickly on who we know is going to be the nominee, President Trump. Number one. Number two, it's different than in 2020 and years past. We were talking theoretically, this is what America would look like under progressive rule. Now Americans have literally felt it. They are less safe at home. They're less safe abroad. They're dipping into their 401k. They are purchasing less from month to month. So now it's not, just kind of this, don't take it from me or don't take it from President Trump. We can point to the disaster that is Bidenomics, and we can point to the world on fire. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I talk to, Bill, that say, can we survive another 5 years of this? I mean, they're really talking in kind of existential terms. So that is going to be a much sharper contrast this campaign.
Great to have you here in Iowa.
Right.
Thanks for coming on set with us. Good to see you.
See you guys.
Keep
Nice
us
to see you.
posted.